Welcome back to In Time TV's On the Edge. I'm Dr. Jonas Moses. This hour we are talking about a special topic in medical education, and that is science, technology, engineering, and math preparedness for secondary students. Regardless of what country you're in, regardless of your educational system, this is an issue for all of us, as parents, as educators, as professionals. In the 21st century, quite frankly, in order for us to function internationally as colleagues, we have to prepare our secondary students better. With me this hour, joining the conversation, Jerry Beimler from the Chicago Public Schools, Jay Canine, and Ken Jandis. And Jay and Ken also do an education show for high school administrators.
And one of the things that I do on that show all the time is butt into what Ken says, and we argue a little bit. But Ken talked a little bit about teachers being afraid of science, of math and science, especially in the elementary grades. And what we need to do is to change the way teachers think about teaching. Because when teachers come in and they think that they have to have all the knowledge and have to dispense that knowledge, we have to change that paradigm. In our world, teachers now do not control knowledge. Teachers learn. They create a learning community in their classroom. Some of the students, if they had Jerry in their class in their 4th grade, he becomes a teacher also. There's no need to be fearful of subject matter, because if you come in as a teacher, as a learner with the students, you create a different climate. So we've got to get to the teachers and to talk to them about not being fearful about exploring subject matters. And we'll have to have a show on that to make sure that we try to get that message across.
Well, and Ken, do you think that these educators are fearful because they feel ill-prepared themselves?
Yeah, I don't think that the education curriculum leading to elementary teaching certification in Illinois has enough math and science.
Just in Illinois?
Well, I know it doesn't in Illinois, but it's systemic. It's across the nation. And I think we can change that. But having 3 or 4 degrees from institutions across the country, how difficult it is to change that, that curriculum program in higher education institutions. It's just not going to happen. It is just such a curriculum that is almost embedded in cement. It's impossible to change those classes leading towards those degrees. I shouldn't say impossible.
Well, no, you started that in your elementary school, and that was backward mapping too. Where do we want to be? How do we get there? And how does each grade build on that goal and to achieve the final goal? And it's got to be by our educational leaders to take a firm stand on this.
That's the reason I participate in the Data-Driven Decision-Making Committee for COSIN, is once people are confronted with the brutal facts about the performance of students, it leads people to have the conversations that say, well, that's not going to happen unless something different happens in 3rd grade.
That's right.
Yes.
Well, that's not going to happen unless something different happens in 1st grade. I had no idea that they didn't do this before they got here. Oh, well, we have to change that as well. So my interest in data-driven decision-making is because of the natural collaborative discussions that occur among educators to make them want to solve these problems.
Well, talk a little bit about that process when you say data-driven decision-making.
Well, when I use the term data-driven decision-making, it's specific to a professional learning community of teachers that have either the same grade level responsibilities or same content level responsibilities, where they participate regularly in community activities that involve a specific discussion of assessment results, planned adjustments that need to be made to be able to modify those results, and instructional changes being implemented and additional formative assessments being taken to decide, all right, then what do we talk about in the next cycle? Did that make a difference? Then we need to let everybody know that that worked. Did that not make a difference? Then we need to spread the word that that didn't work. And there's nothing more powerful than a collaborative community of educators working with each other. Our kids have figured it out already. They're talking to kids in Japan on the internet,
Right.
working on projects, even if school isn't helping them do it.
Right.
And don't you think that's can temper some of your pessimism?
Oh,
about
absolutely.
what we're doing, that this
I am a
is-
cockeyed optimist, but the data's not optimistic.
I know, but that in itself is something that's gearing us to improvement.
Well, Jay, Jerry, Ken, what about international collaboration? Are any of you involved in international collaborations, or do you know if there is in place an international collaboration? Surely other people in other countries are as concerned about these things as we are.
Well, that's a topic for another show, but it's probably the most exciting thing we're doing in e-learning is the Project Dawn that involves telepresence across multiple countries.
Say it again. It's Project Dawn?
Project Dawn is the name of the specific project in the Chicago Public Schools where we have.
But there are projects like this in other.
I hope so.
Oh yes, we're expanding and we're looking outside. Education used to be a very parochial, very small community where they were made up of even
The center of the universe in that community. Yes, so of course.
Exactly. And now we're realizing that we are part of a large world, and we're expanding that frame of reference.
You know, looking at some of your medical colleagues who are in neurology, we have a new picture taking place. Before, we were putting a lot of money into 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds before kindergarten. And now we have this new knowledge that says those neural pathways are built by the time the child is 3, and they begin losing those pathways if they're not used into the 4th and the 5th year.
We are going to a commercial break. Stay with us. Intriguing conversation. I'm Dr. Jonas Moses. With me this hour, Jerry Bemler, Jay Canine, and Ken Jandis. We'll be right back.